the March meeting of the Wood County Board of Supervisors to order. I assume the clerk has taken the roll.
Yes.
And at this time, I would ask Supervisor Valentine to please come forward for the invocation. I'd ask you to please rise and then remain standing for the pledge of allegiance.
Let's pray. Dear Lord, first let me say thank you on behalf of all who are gathered here today. Thank you for your many and abundant blessings. Thank you for life, for the health we need to fulfill our callings, for sustenance and friendship. Thank you for the ability to be involved in useful work and for the honor of bearing appropriate responsibilities. I'm asking that you would graciously grant us wisdom to govern amid the conflicting interests and issues of our times, a sense of the welfare and true needs of our people, confidence in what is good, the ability to work together in harmony even when there is honest disagreement, personal peace in our lives, and joy in our tasks. Amen.
Please join in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Lord. Appreciate that. All right, let's get rolling on this. Minutes of the previous session would entertain a motion to approve by LaFontaine, second by, all right, I have Curry, I guess.
Hamilton.
Sorry, Brad, Mr. Curry beat ya.
Take it tax now.
Any discussion? Any discussion? All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion carries. All right, we have no excusals today under resignation.
Okay.
We have Diane Lieber from the Civil Service Commission. I don't know, do we need a motion to that effect? All right, I'll entertain a motion on the resignation of Diane Lieber by fire, second by Lightnum. Any discussion? Again, all in favor, please signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, that motion carries. For appointments or reappointments today to the Health and Human Services Committee for 3-year terms, Jessica Vicenti and Dr. Kristen Iniquez. Need a motion to that? I have a motion by Hokamp, I have a second by Lightnum. All right, any discussion? Again, all in favor, please signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And that motion carries. I'm trying to wait long enough to obviously get those appearing virtually in. Is there any public comment today? Any public comment? Any public comment? No? Okay, no acknowledgements and recognitions. That will get us right into the packet. On page 7 of your packet are the referrals for March. Went to the appropriate people, appropriate committees. There was recognition there that the governor's office did receive resolution 21-2-8. As we get into the committee meetings and the packet, the meat of the packet here, page 8, the operations committee of March 2nd, that's page 8 and 9. We have the monthly letter of comments from the county clerk on 10 and 11. Monthly letter of comments from Human Resources beginning on page 12 and running through page 17, 12 through 17. Monthly letter of comments from the Treasurer on 18. From Wellness on 19. Then that brings us to the first resolution in the packet, page 20, brought forth by the Seed and Operations Committee. Trent, if you would.
This will be Resolution 21-3-1 to amend the 2021 Land and Water Conservation Admin Budget Function for additional expenditures not anticipated during the original budget process. Fiscal note, no additional cost to Wood County. The source of the funding is from Land and Water Conservation Department Licenses and Permits Revenue Account. The adjustment to the budget totals $4,100.
Thank you. Trying to have a motion by LaFontaine and a second by Wagner. Is there any discussion on the resolution? No, please vote.
Alden, yes.
Al, yes.
Rosa, yes.
Right.
Al?
Right, yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
For those appearing virtually, we're just waiting for one of the iPads to get up and running here. There we go. We're good. All right, that resolution passed unanimously. Thank you. Moving on, page 21 in the packet and 22. Trent?
This will be Resolution 21-3-2 to compensate Wood County employees who have worked an extraordinary number of hours over the last year due to the COVID-19 pandemic, resulting in increased workload and expectations placed on specific positions, which resulted in certain exempt employees having exceeded the maximum accrual of compensatory time, as resulting high balances of that time we're talking about, are not realistic to continue to use in their entirety. A one-time payout of the hours over the maximum of 80 hours at the employee's current regular straight time rate will be made on the next payday for eligible exempt employees. Fiscal note, the adjustment to the budget totals $140,094.
Okay, and I have a motion by Supervisor Clendenning, a second by Supervisor LaFontaine. Is there any discussion on this resolution? I'll go to Supervisor Clendenning, then Winch.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think this was the right thing to do, and I'm glad to see the Operations Committee sitting down and thinking about this and promoting it. I just think it's good for our employees. Thank you.
Supervisor Winch?
Thank you, Madam Chairman. I'd just like an explanation of that minimum promotion. Is that for the last year?
Is the question for what period of time?
Yeah.
This ran, Supervisor Wagner?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. In reply to Supervisor Winch's inquiry, this is all compensatory time up through the March 6th payroll. So, yeah, it does. Yes.
Is that going to be a one-time fee?
This is, yes, it says so in the resolution. It's a one-time deal.
What about if we run another year with overtime?
Basically, this resolution only addresses the last year. We'll have, if that issue comes up, we'll address it as it comes, and we'll determine whether or not this is appropriate at that time, too.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion?
So Lance,
Supervisor,
this is Donna.
go ahead, Donna.
I just want to say that I want to draw everybody's attention to that whereas that says that this is not a precedent-setting policy and that we're not changing any existing policies, and to just springboard on what Supervisor Winch says, that this is a one-time thing in order to make these people whole that have been working so many hours. And I just want to repeat again that this is not precedent-setting.
Any further discussion? Any further discussion? All right, I ask you to please vote.
Yes.
Okay, got Lee and Brad.
Roser, yes.
Right, yes.
Thank you. That resolution passed unanimously. Thank you. I didn't weigh in as we were dealing with this, but the full explanation of this is we just had some people who had so much compensatory time under the policy that there was no way to be able to give them that time off and still operate those departments. So obviously we're hoping that as this pandemic wanes, that this won't happen again, but there would have been no way to possibly accommodate the time off and still run those departments. So that was the gist behind this. All right, moving on. The Health and Human Services Committee meeting of February 25th on 23 and 24. The monthly letter of comments from the Health Department on 25, 26, and 27. Report from Human Services, beginning on 28 with Director Bruing's report and running through page 34, 28 through 34. I broke this out separate because normally it comes under the Human Services part, but we have the Norwood Health Center update on 35 and 36, and the reason I broke that out is if you were at the meeting or if you've been to some of the other meetings, you see that Jordan Bruce is going to be stepping down up there. Donna, do you want to make any comments on that?
Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate that. We've tried to let Jordan know how much we appreciate his leadership over the years that he's been with Wood County. I think most of you know, maybe some of the new people don't know, that he assumed an additional leadership role during a transition at Edgewater Haven. And then when we brought Edgewater Haven under the Human Services Department and not a standalone department, he's worked very collaboratively with Marissa in really improving those facilities and bringing them up to speed. He's been such an advocate for the population that he serves in Marshfield and the residents in Wisconsin Rapids, and we just wish him every future success in his endeavors. I think that you probably read that Marissa, who's currently the nursing home administrator at Edgewater Haven, is assuming Jordan's position. She will be dual rolling, just like Jordan did in the transition previously, helping us to hire somebody at Edgewater Haven. So we also wish Marissa every future success and excited about her assuming this new role. And thank you all for the support that you have given Jordan over the years and for the support that you will give Marissa and the new administrator as they're hired at Edgewater Haven. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Supervisor Rose. I want to make sure we mention that because Jordan Bruce is one of those people who stepped up, did additional licensure to be able to handle these additional facilities, and I think this is somewhat indicative of many of the employees we have out there, but I want to make sure that we have that recognition. Moving on to the Veteran Service Officers Report on 37 and 38. Page 39 through 42, minutes of the Wood County Public Safety Committee from February 8th. The Humane Officers Reports December through January, beginning on 43 and running through page 47. The January reports from the Sheriff's Department beginning on 48 and they run through page 66. Does anybody have any questions on any of those? And those are all encompassing. Overtime, jail populations, anything else. Anybody have any questions 48 through 66? And somebody made the comment earlier that this was a pretty big packet, and that's because we have a few plans in here. The discharge planning update, 67 through 74, and that was a new position that we brought on board a few months ago. 67 through 74. And then page 75 in your packet is a resolution brought forth by the Public Safety Committee.
This will be Resolution 21-3-3 to provide for anticipated revenue from the Wisconsin Department of Justice Division of Law Enforcement Services to finance the purchase of laptop computers, audiovisual conferencing equipment, and other associated equipment used to reduce staff and community exposure to COVID-19. Fiscal note, the costs to be funded in the 2021 budget are in the Sheriff Administration Public Safety Supplies account. The adjustment to the budget totals $57,910.
Thanks, Trent. I have a motion by Valentine, a second by LaFontaine. Any discussion on the resolution? Any discussion? Please vote.
Powell, yes. Hamilton, yes.
Donna?
Hauser, yes.
Fry, yes.
Thank you. And again, that resolution passes unanimously. Thank you. So we move on to the packet. Beginning on page 76 is the minutes of the Seat Committee from Wednesday, March 3rd, beginning on 76, running through page 82. 76 through 82. Any questions there? Wood County Land Information Council minutes of January 27th on 83 and 84. A report from UW Extension, beginning on 85, and it runs through page 91. Any questions on UW Extension? The Land and Water Conservation Department, their report, beginning on page 92 and running through 97. 92 to 97. The report from Planning and Zoning, the staff report, beginning with Director Grunberg's on 98 through 103. The Citizens Groundwater Group meeting of February 15th, 104, 5, and 6. And then we have the Economic Development Recovery meetings January and February, beginning on 107, and they run through page 111. Those meetings have been very helpful in kind of keeping us apprised of what's going on everywhere within the county as we deal with this. Here's the big part of the packet. They said there's some big reports. Beginning on 112 and running through page 148 was the READY plan, 112 through 148. It's there for you to read, to look at. There's some pretty good information in here. In fact, I disseminated this out to some people in the community yesterday so they could take a look at it. But worth a read. Then as we go to page 149 in the packet, it's 149 basically through 151 is the background information with the resolution to follow, and this is for the zoning amendment to the town of Marshfield. Trent?
So this will be resolution 21-3-4 to approve a zoning amendment to the town of Marshfield official zoning map. Fiscal note, no cost to Wood County. The town of Marshfield is responsible for any costs associated with administering their town zoning ordinance.
Okay, and I have a motion by Clendenning, I have a second by Fisher. Is there any discussion on the resolution? Any discussion? Please vote.
Powell, yes. Hamilton, yes.
Roser, yes.
Right, yes.
Thank you. Okay, at least we got Supervisor Vance and Supervisor Lynch are both. Makes me feel better when our most tech-savvy board members are having trouble, not just me. All right, that resolution passed unanimously, thank you. All right, back to the packet, page 153 in the packet. 4 and 5 is the March 4th meeting of the Judicial and Legislative Committee, again 153, 154, and 5. The Criminal Justice Coordinator Ad Hoc Committee meetings Tuesday, February 16th and February 22nd are 156, 7 and 8. 156, 7 and 8. Any questions there? We have notice of injury and claims on 159 through 163. Most of the mailboxes get knocked over. Supervisor Curry?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm looking, did we miss the resolution on the town of Marshfield?
No, we voted on that.
Okay, I'm sorry, I must have been sleeping on that.
You voted yes.
Thank you. You voted yes. Well, how did I vote on it?
I have to be careful what I say. I was gonna make a comment about voting systems. It just records them. You don't get out there quick enough. All right, we have the notice of injury claims on 159 through 163. We have the monthly letter accounts from the Child Support Agency on 164. From Corp Counsel on 165. The Criminal Justice Coordinator on 166. Register of Deeds on 167. And that brings us to the resolution on page 168 brought forth by the J&L Committee.
This will be Resolution 21-3-5 to seek a legislative change in a statutory juvenile hearing timeframe that can be impractical or even impossible to meet at times. Fiscal note, none.
Okay, I have a motion by LaFontaine, I have a second by Clendenning. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? All right, please vote.
Powell, yes. Hamilton, yes.
Roser, yes.
Frye, yes.
Thank you, virtual attendees, we have all of you. Okay, we got it, it's in. All right, that resolution passed unanimously, thank you. You ready for the next one, Trent?
You bet, let's go.
All right, page 169, next resolution.
This will be Resolution 21-3-6 to request the legislature to support the reauthorization of the Knowles-Nelson Stewardship Program at $70 million per year. Fiscal note, reauthorization of the stewardship program will result in continued funding assistance for Wood County projects.
I have a motion by Fire, I have a second by Lightnum. Discussion. Supervisor Lynch.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm against that resolution, and have been for a long time. They've got over 5 million acres at the moment, and their budget is over 600,000 per year. I'm gonna vote no.
Any further discussion? Any further discussion? All right, seeing none, please vote.
Hamilton, yes. Powell, yes.
Roser, yes.
Frye, yes.
That resolution passed 17-2, 17-2. All right, moving on in the packet, following the next resolution, correct?
This will be Resolution 21-3-7 to affirm Wood County's commitment to taking action to reduce its contribution to climate change. Fiscal note, none.
Okay, I have a motion by Fire, I have a second by Lightning. Any discussion on this resolution? Any discussion? So we're ready to vote, please vote.
Hamilton, yes.
Tell.
I've got Lee so far.
Got Hamilton as yes.
Frye, yes.
And Hamilton, okay.
Roser, yes.
Okay, we've got all the virtual votes in. That resolution passed 18-1.
Frye, yes.
18-1. Thank you. All right, moving on to the packet, page 172, the minutes of the March 4th Highway Infrastructure Recreation Committee, that's 172, 3 and 4. Monthly letter of comments from the Highway Commissioner, beginning on 175, and those run through 178. The monthly letter of comments beginning with Director Schoolies on 179 through 183 for the Park and Forestry Department. And then, is there any objection to taking these at once? Both of these resolutions at once? They're for eligibility for state grant money. Any objection? All right, then I'm going to take these together. Go ahead, Trent.
This will be Resolution 21-3-8 to become eligible for the State of Wisconsin Outdoor Recreation Grant Programs funding. Fiscal note, $500,000 for Dexter Park Beach House Construction Project. Resolution 21-3-9 to become eligible for the State of Wisconsin Outdoor Recreation Grant Programs funding. Fiscal note, $500,000 for Powers Bluff Highway End Trailhead Entrance Road and Parking Lot Project.
Okay, I have a motion by Fisher and I have a second by LaFontaine. Is there any discussion on these resolutions? Any discussion? All right, seeing none, I'd ask you to please vote.
Powell, Hamilton, yes.
Roser, yes.
Supervisor Bry?
Yes.
I think we have everybody, and we have once. First of all, that resolution passed 18-1. And I guess whoever had Mike open closed it. All right. Yeah, you closed it, okay. All right. That takes us to page 186 in the packet. That is the Property Information Technology Committee meeting minutes of March 1st on 186 and 187. The monthly letter of comments from Information Technology on 188, running through 192. The Facilities Manager's Report on 193. The ADRC minutes beginning on 194, running through 199, and these are minutes of the Finance Committee and the entire board on 194 through 199. That's October through December, 194 through 199. Any questions on ADRC? Pages 200 through 212. Those are various committees and board meetings of the Macmillan Memorial Library Board of Trustees. Again, 200 through 212. A lot of information there. Bill, did you have anything you needed there since there's a lot there?
No, we are having, thank you, Richard. We are having a lot of meetings on our building project and the change in the bylaws. A very active committee now, and I really appreciate being on that committee. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Clendenny. All right, page 213, the South Central Library System Board of Trustees from 128, and that's 213 and 214. The University Commission minutes from, I don't know when it's from here, November 12th, 215 and 216. And then the jail study, the ad hoc committee, beginning at 217 through 221. And I spoke briefly before this meeting to the chair of that committee and one of the members directly. They really are doing a good job of coming up with some of the information, ascertaining some of the real needs, some of the soft costs as well as the hard costs. And appreciate the work they're doing as they move forward in this endeavor. So again, page 217 through 221. Any questions? Their meeting from March 4th on 222, 223, 4, and 5. Any questions? All right, that takes us through the packet. I guess a couple quick announcements. I think all of you, Supervisor Ashbeck.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The fair is being planned on going on, and we could always use some volunteers at the gates. That's a job when anybody, for older people could handle, I mean, like selling tickets and that. And it'd be a big help if we could find some groups out of Rapids, like the 4-H clubs or something, that'd be willing for some volunteer time, because we need a lot of people and it's expensive, we gotta hire it all, so. If somebody wants a nice hobby and to work at the gates at the fair, I mean, we appreciate all the help we get from there.
Thanks, Bob. I was recently appointed to a statewide group looking at how some of this gets funded, and I can tell you it really opened my eyes as to what occurs in those county fairs throughout the state, how they're funded, how they're run, how the accounting works in some and doesn't work in others, but it's really an eye-opener, and I hope that at the end of the day we come up with at least a template for counties to use moving forward and how they engage all those various organizations and have successful county fairs. A couple of quick things. You all should have received an email on the I-9 forms that need to be filled out by supervisors. Check with Human Resources to complete those. Make sure you check with HR. And then the last thing is, yesterday was the Wisconsin Counties Association, the regional meetings. Began yesterday. There's a series of those, but that is information specific not only to our county but to our district, and those are on the WCA website. So if you missed that, they have been recorded, they are archived, and you can watch those. So I just had a note come in from Kyle Christensen, the legislative director, while we were in this meeting, saying those are. Is there anything else that needs to come before this board today? Anything else? All right, seeing nothing, then I will declare the meeting adjourned. Thank you.